Okay, hello to all my wonderful, wonderful geese. I'm Quill. Welcome back to my realm. And today, I need to edit my story. So this video is mainly just to show how I edit my books, and maybe you can take some tips from this if you are struggling with editing and are having a hard time finding things to edit and you just don't know what to edit, I guess. If your editing takes too long, or if it doesn't come naturally when you're trying to edit. If these sound like problems you have, then stick around. See if I have any advice that might help. I don't want to force you guys to do this because obviously everybody edits in different ways that works for them, so yeah. But anyways, yeah, let's just get into it. Well, I mean, there's not really a drawing for me to show because this is an editing video. I hope the format of this video is okay, guys, but yeah, anyways. So when I edit, I basically have 3 rounds that I do. The first round is a little something that I like to call bracket editing. This form of editing is the very first thing that I do because it mainly has 2 parts. The first part I actually do while I'm writing, and I got the idea from placeholder names when you can't really come up with a name for a place or the character that you have in your story, and you just put it in brackets so it'll be easier to find when you're coming back to edit it in and you finally come up with a good name. I do that with a lot of phrases and words that I'm not entirely happy with, and I want to convey that mood, but I don't know what to put right then, and so I'll just put in brackets so that I know that's a spot that I want to get stronger when I'm editing. This round I've kind of combined with the reread, and this is the easiest round for me to start editing in because most of my mistakes will be blaringly obvious and where I should add a little bit more depth or something. And so this round is mainly just go with your gut. If your gut says that sounds bad, you should change it because most of the time it does sound bad. Well, maybe not bad, but not as strong as it can be. That's the context I'm using the word bad in this sentence, in this video, because we're all trying to get better with our writing, and so in our minds it sounds bad, I guess. But yeah, one example of bracket editing that I used in my story was, the tremendous rumbling abruptly came to a stop, and Chief Lucian spoke again, his voice sending chills down everyone's spine. Now what I have in the bracket, sending chills down everyone's spine, is just the mood that I want to convey. So I started by just trying to figure out what I wanted his voice to sound like to convey this chilling mood, I guess. And I decided on describing his voice as cold, grim, and lightless, specifically those ones because I wanted it to feel unique. And I also added a hard stop in between them, which is why I have the periods there, which basically are just to slow down the reader and to kind of draw their attention to it more, creating a more unsettling mood. The next round of editing that I normally do is just to establish emotion, because to me, emotion is the strongest part of the writing, that if you don't have it very well, it will kind of just take away from the story a lot. And I kept hearing this term, show don't tell, when it comes to setting and mood mostly, but also when it came to emotion. And when it came to emotion, I wasn't entirely sure how to do that. How I couldn't say I was mad. And so this sentence from my story, really, I had that very basic understanding of emotion. I was mad type of thing. It reads, kids ran to and fro, chasing each other with fake spears and arrows in the spirit of the siege. A pang of fear struck my chest as I watched them, memories flooding my brain that I desperately tried to keep at bay. Now in this sentence, the pang of fear and desperately are directly telling us what the character is feeling. And for a while, I didn't know how to fix that very direct way of telling the readers what the characters were feeling. And so I was in my ELA class trying to think of how I could get around this and how I could actually show emotions. And we were learning about tone words, and it finally clicked. That is how you're supposed to convey emotion without literally telling the reader, using strong tone words with negative and positive connotations to actually make the readers themselves feel the emotions rather than just telling them what they're supposed to be feeling. And so in the sentence from earlier, I added various tone words like darted instead of ran, charging instead of chasing, and my eyes shot open. And the action of tripping over in a rush kind of shows her desperation to get away from them, which therefore shows her fear. So the final sentence ultimately became, kids darted to and fro, charging at each other with fake spears and arrows in the spirit of the siege. My eyes shot open. I tripped over my talons to get away from them, from their sharp weapons, and from the memories that I couldn't keep at bay. And now you might hear some more of that emotion that I'm putting into it because it's a lot more intriguing, it's a lot more unique, and it literally makes you feel a little rush inside. So using that in context of our 3 rounds of editing, I would focus a lot on the tone words of emotions instead of just like being lost trying to find more things that I could edit with the gut feeling. Once again, we're trying to narrow our focus down so it's easier to edit, so we know what we're looking for. That makes it a lot more effective because then we're not just grasping at strings. Okay, so I have one more round that I do, but I want you guys to know that I don't really focus a lot on the setting, and so if you want to have good descriptions of the setting to create a good mood, then you might want to add that in with the previous one or the first round, or just create a completely other round. But that's just not what I'm trying to focus on, because this Eclipse story, this Casting Shadows, is for me to kind of learn how to develop my characters better and how to convey emotion better. That is my prime focus. I'm not really focused on how the setting is really affecting the characters as much. That's for me when I'm more advanced. But yeah, this last round is just me kind of fine-tuning things. It's once again another gut feeling read through, but this time I'm focusing more on grammar. And actually, I'll have my sister edit with me because she's like a grammar fanatic. She is really good at grammar for some reason, even though she like hates ELA. And so she will always help me edit my books and help me with the grammar aspect of things. Speaking of having other people help you, it is a great tip just to have feedback, because if you don't have feedback, how will you know how it affects your readers? That's like kind of obvious, I feel like. And like I just normally ask my friends to read it, and if they want, they can help me edit it by adding some like great suggestions. My one friend, she is so good at descriptions and setting, and so that is how I get most of my ideas for like the setting descriptions, because she is like a very good descriptive person. And also my sister has the same personality type as my main character, and this has really helped me with coming up with some of the decisions that she would make, because my sister can kind of help me figure out what she would do, what she wouldn't do. So getting feedback is one of the best things I can like kind of tell you to do. It has been the most influential part of my book, and it has really, you can tell the parts where I have had feedback and the parts that I haven't had feedback. I also want to make it clear that you don't have to use these rounds in order. I just feel like this order is the easiest for me because I don't like, the grammar just doesn't make sense to do first, and the gut feeling is just like what I normally start with when I edit. And you can kind of just make up your own stuff in what comes in between those, because you should be looking for specific things depending on what you want to, like, what you're writing your story for. You also don't have to use these in like complete rounds. You can skip ahead if you want. Like if you find a good like tone word to use in place of emotion when you're trying to do the gut feeling, then yeah, go ahead, put it. The editing, it doesn't really need to have a big structure. It just needs to work for you, and that is kind of why I'm trying to make this video, just to tell you guys what works for me and help you guys along your way. I don't know. I don't even know if you need help, but yeah. I hope you guys have a goose day. And thank you to my sister Celloberry for the music in this video. She's amazing. You should go check her out. You should go subscribe to her. You should eat some pie because pie is delicious. Yeah. Goodbye, guys. I'm like kind of insane right now. So thank you for listening. It makes me really happy to know that people are watching my videos and enjoying them. So yeah. Bye.